Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Interpreting Hanson's Most Bizarre News Show Plus Ideas. What a title. I'm Jeff Markiafava. I'm here with Sarah Podzorski. We're the only ones left, apparently, in MinnMax.
The ideas took Leo and Janet out completely.
Yeah.
They saw it, and they could not do it again.
They needed time to ponder what happened last week, but we're back because you guys wanted us to come back and do this again. This is all your doing, your fault, I guess. I don't know. Depends on how the episode goes. But everybody who subscribes to us and who supports us on patreon.com/MinnMax. Well, I think there's a specific tier for it, but you guys all got to vote on what we do on this show, as you do every week for New Show Plus. And we had a bunch of ideas that we were hoping would win because they would have been much easier to do. But people said, no, we want to dive back into this well of looking at Hanson's most terrible New Show Plus ideas. And so we're here. Thankfully, thankfully it's a huge list. So
bottomless.
I think we still got plenty of bad ideas to go through.
Mm-hmm. It's bottomless. It's a little dark. It's a little smelly down here.
Yeah.
But here we are. I just found out that Jeff is allergic to shellfish, and
I am.
Now Red Lobster is actually, now we need to mark them for like dangers, like levels of mortality.
Yes.
Like starving in the woods. Like, how would we die? Like, rank it on would you die or not?
Yeah, Hanson's just becoming Jigsaw, I think is the answer. He's going to have you running around out in the woods. I'm going to be all swelled up on the floor of a Red Lobster bathroom, you know. It's horrific.
It's horrific.
Yeah, so why don't we just jump right in and you can start shouting out weird ideas. And we'll just go through it. And maybe eventually we'll try and find good ones. We could if we run out of the bad ones, we can try and pick which is the best one that he came up with.
And we will still be using our, like, what is it, 5 out of 5 Hansons, 5 out of Ben's rating scale.
Yeah, that worked so well.
Also rate.
Flawless. Yeah, last time.
I was confused because it's like, I don't consider my scale the same as a Ben scale, but I feel like Ben's scale is completely different from my personally one. Like,
yeah. I feel like there was confusion last week too of like, well, this is actually kind of a good idea and it would work, but that doesn't make it Hanson-y, you know. It's like the most terrible ones feel like the most Hanson-y ones. The Menards commercial is like peak Hanson.
But we also didn't apparently explain what Menards was, because it's a very specific. It's a Midwest deep cut.
Yeah.
There's no Menards outside of the Midwest, I don't think. But it's an iconic jingle that's been on television since as long as I can remember.
We were kids and we used to sing it. Come and kick me in Menards. Did everyone do that?
Instead of save big money at Menards?
Yeah, it was come and kick me in Menards because Nards used to be, that was like peak late 80s, early 90s ball humor.
That sounds.
But that's how long it's been going on.
That's how long it's been.
And it's the same jingle. I got a new idea here. Let me figure out how to edit that.
I also think Ben has edited this. I have changes since July 5th, and there's some Ben ideas in here. So it feels like, I can't tell, like, is this bait? Are we being baited? Because, like, one of them is quite literally listening to old-timey radio. We sit and listen to a radio. And I don't know if that's
just a parody of himself.
Because, like, if we sit and listen to radio, just because it's radio doesn't mean it's old-timey. So we'd have to, like, go somewhere that has recordings of old-timey radio.
Right. That would be like... you know, and he probably has a source for that too. He'd be like, "Oh, of course, just go to oldtimeyradio.com, my favorite, you know, like my most bookmarked website that I'm on all the time."
Yeah, he's like, I put it up in the background like a podcast.
Yeah, Crowboy actually has an idea that would kind of salvage it, and he said, "Listen to the old War of the Worlds broadcast. Or like if we could find like old, like news hour kind of radio archives, that might be a little more interesting than just watching us listen to music for an hour. Maybe the idea just came from like, what music themed thing could we do that wouldn't get copyright struck?
It's
so just
old.
Go public domain music.
Yeah, let's listen along to the moon landing.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know what we would do, though. We would just listen to it, and I'd be like, wow. I wonder how it ends. And it's like,
cool.
We know how it ends.
Yeah, that's... old-timey radio sounds suspiciously like classic Hanson. I don't know. I don't know when he put that in, or that does
Apparently
feel like bait.
July 5th.
Yeah. Was that... When did we film the last one? On July 4th.
Was it on July 5th? Oh, yeah, because of the 4th of July.
Yeah, we did it a day late.
Oh.
Yeah. So he probably hopped in.
He was watching, and he was like...
We're not falling for it. 0 out of 5 Hansons. Yeah.
We're not taking the bait.
Yeah.
We won't do it.
Well, let me edit that one. I had another one pulled up, which is great. Twitter Super Hour. And he has a note in this one that just says, responding to every tweet in your timeline.
Ooh. There's another Twitter adjacent one where Ben, a long time ago, Ben was really fascinated about like brand interactions on Twitter. Like he was just like totally fascinated about brands. So he was gonna New Show Plus as the MinnMax channel go and like tweet at brands.
Sure.
So this sounds very similar to that.
Yeah. This is like the next level of that. Because he's obsessed with social media. He can't keep himself off of it. Did you know, Sarah? I don't know if he would want me to like publicly acknowledge this, but I think I have in the past. Yeah. Yes. He is on Truth Social, and he stays on Truth Social just to see what Trump says because it upsets him so much. And then he posts it. Jeff Cork and I and him have like this secret Slack channel where we complain about politics.
Every now and then, secret Slack channel.
We do. We've had it for many years. And then he'll just go in there and he'll post, like, look at this crazy thing that Trump said recently. And it's like, what are you doing? It's so funny because
like Ben he has this holier than thou attitude that he like doesn't have Twitter on his phone. He's like, oh yeah, I deleted Twitter from my phone, so like I don't even look at it.
Yeah, because he replaced it with Truth Social. Yeah.
Sorry, that's so weird that like he's a what is it called? A doom scroller? I would have never guessed.
Yes, like the worst political doom scroller. I try not to, but I am part of that channel, so I get my fill. Either way. But yes, I mean, Twitter's Super Hour wouldn't even work anymore, right? Because they put limits on how many tweets you can see or tweet or whatever.
I think it's 1,000 now. So.
I guess.
And then we would hope that people would tweet at us and we would respond.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the gray area.
Twitch chat is right here. Like people can directly talk to us and we respond.
This is
apparently there's no limits right now.
This is the step beyond Hanson's initial thought that he wrote down. It's like, but what would the tweets be, Hanson? And it's like, well, we didn't think it through that far. But as far as a Hanson idea, I'll give that one a 3 out of 5.
I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5 Hansons.
Okay.
For the responding to a bunch of tweets, because like they're always like good ideas for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you're like, in an hour? What would that be like?
Yeah. Now, see, you're back on like the good scale though of like, is this a good idea? Or because I'm thinking of
even for a Hanson
idea.
For a Hanson idea, I feel like that's pretty.
Yeah, I ranked it lower because I feel like there's not like the Midwest quirk of like Hanson's ideas in that. It would be like it would have to be like, let's tweet at all the companies that make plaid shirts or something like that. That would be like a. Now you're in Hanson country.
It's a good sitting at home alone idea. A lot of these, I wish Ben, like when he put the thing in, I wish he would say like what he was doing.
What he was doing, yes.
Like explain exactly like where you were, what you were doing, what time it was, what your mental state was when you put this idea into the document.
That would be very, very helpful. Let's see.
Because one of these is just like exploring malls.
Yes.
Exploring malls. Like people have never been to malls. This mall had better be abandoned. This had better be like
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely the go to, like closed down malls and look around there, which is kind of interesting. But this feels more just like he was at a mall and was like, hey, I should make Sarah come back here with me and film this for an hour. Is usually how those ideas go, I think.
Yeah, it just sounds like someone who's never had to actually shop at a mall. Like
yeah, what is
no one who's actually gone to a mall to explore a mall.
That's just called shopping, right?
Being mall rats for
a
day.
normal person.
Give me $20, send me into Claire's. I can get some jewelry and a little snack.
Yeah. Yeah, that's. Now I'm confused about. I'm confusing myself about the scale because that does seem like classic Hanson. I have not even. Why would you write this down? Why would you even bother writing that down? But
exploring malls, mall better, but it should be like exploring abandoned malls.
Yes, that would be more interesting.
I don't think we have a lot of abandoned malls in the Twin Cities.
I don't think so.
We'd have to go like far out into the suburbs to find like a dead mall or like a mall that's not popular, because we have like Mall of America, like that's popular, that's not dead. We have Edina and they're like fancy malls.
I feel like they tear them down pretty quick and just build condos over them.
Yeah.
In the cities. Let's see. You can just literally go down one idea after the other. I'm not even. This is the one immediately after exploring malls, and it's. Let's see if I can get that to fit. Ranking stand-up comedy special names only.
He loves to rank things.
He loves to rank the most bizarre things that you can come up with. So yeah, I guess
it's just by names. I don't even know a lot of names.
No, I don't think anyone does. I don't feel like that's a thing that they put a lot of effort into, and maybe that's like where it came from, of like he saw one too many bad. Name? Sometimes, or sometimes they'll have a very, like short, dumb idea for, like a half joke of a title. But yeah, it feels like most of the time it's just, well, I guess, I don't know, but I feel like Dave Chappelle is one who has done kind of more elaborate names, but how are you going to rank those for an hour, Sarah, is the problem.
I know, for an hour.
Barry Gooster says Chris Rock's Selective Outrage is, I guess, an example of stand-up comedy names.
Or is it, I can't tell, is that good?
I think it's just an example of like a format example, I suppose.
I feel like they would all be incredibly, like I would rank them all incredibly low.
Yeah, I honestly don't know what you'd have to do to get a good ranking for a stand-up comedy special name. Let's see.
Another new one that was added that just says we judge inventions from the community. So this isn't on us. This is on the community.
Okay.
So I hope you guys have some inventions that you've made that you would love to. I'm sure there's several people in our community that have invented life-changing objects.
So it would be like, we would be like the Shark Tank judges, I guess.
But like, would people have to actually invent it, or would they just submit an idea? Would they be like, this is my idea?
I would hope we wouldn't make them go beyond the idea phase. Like, yes, please prototype your idea by tomorrow because you have
Please
like
submit it.
20 hours to vote for it, and then also create an invention.
Yeah. This is just Shark Tank. I'm always a little like iffy on the ones that like need a lot of community participation, because it's like we all only get like less than a day to truly know what's gonna win. So whenever we call for like community participation, I'm like, will people have time to write in like their gaming sins? And I'm always surprised. I'm always pleasantly surprised that people do. But like, it's it's something that you can't control.
I'm always surprised that anyone shows up at noon on a Tuesday and is able to watch us in the first place, much less come up with a new invention idea for us to
I like this comment in chat. It sounds like create content for MinnMax. Why isn't that on here? Community decides new show plus. There you go. We did it. Why do we have to work?
That's true.
Community brings ideas.
All these ideas, we never came up with just do an hour of the community coming up with ideas for us.
That's next week. That's next week, Ben Hanson.
It is.
But instead it's in the community's mind.
Yeah. Crowboy asks if they get to vote on these ideas. You guys can shout out your Hanson scores in the chat at any point, and we'll call them out.
The judging inventions from the community, I do feel like is a 5 out of 5 Hanson idea, just because I think the thing about Ben is what I'm learning is like he just has like the most optimistic outlook, the highest expectations. Like he assumes this is the man that assumed that you could park at the state fair during the state fair. Like his world outlook is just like, why wouldn't it work? And mine is the opposite. You know? And like I think with some of these ideas it's like very clear that he's like, yeah, the community will come up with like such good inventions. And I'm like, I don't doubt that they would, but it's like for an hour? Yeah.
And then they'll make it into an invention, and then we'll take it, we'll sponsor them when they go to Shark Tank. Yeah, it's like, but that's what I guess that's what makes him, such a special person. Oh my God, I hadn't seen this one before, and I don't know when it was added, but we have. Let me put this up here. People submit LinkedIn profiles and we hire them or not.
Wait, where is that? Here, what? How did we not see these last time?
I don't know.
How did we not see these?
I don't know if that was newly added, but that's insane.
No, it wasn't newly added as of the 5th of July. Yeah, 5 out of 5 Hansons. But it's like, in Ben's mind, we wouldn't actually hire them.
Yeah.
We would just discuss if we would or not, and then if we said yes, like we wouldn't actually hire them.
Yes.
But like in Ben's mind, he's like, that's fine. Like people wouldn't come to us and be like, you wouldn't hire me? Like no hurt feelings, am I right? No potential to like wound somebody emotionally.
The like most positive, like best case scenario of that is we say nice things about you, but you still don't have a job. And the worst is we're going to like criticize you and also not give you a job. Janet in the chat says that's so unhinged.
It is. How did we not see this?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's literally hot or not resume edition. I'm surprised there's not one here where it's like the community submits their resumes. The community submits cover letters. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
That's incredible.
And it's like, the thing is like, there's no checking to make sure that you're like actually submitting. Like, would they submit their own LinkedIn profiles? Or are they just going to find like random people?
Yeah. Who never agreed to it. That's going to end with a lawsuit.
That's going to, yeah, it is. It's going to end with some defamation.
Let's see. What else do we have? Yeah, I think we said that's 5 out of 5 Hanson. That's
it's 5 out of 5, absolutely. Yeah, there's just like you can see like where the thought occurred, but then it stopped and like nothing moved past the initial like idea.
Yeah, he needs like a lawyer or someone to like fill in all the gaps.
That's us. on Monday meetings when Ben submits these to us and we all go like, I don't think that would work.
Yeah. You had another one?
Yeah, well, there was this one that's been on the list for a long time, and it was like MinnMax raises a baby. And I brought this up, I think, like a couple months ago when Ben knew that he was going to have a baby. And he was like, yeah, that would be interesting. So good job. MinnMax is officially raising a baby. We did it. Cross that one off. But the idea was community rights in what art or culture to carry forward if we had nothing. What to teach this baby? MinnMax raises a baby. So like we have this pretend baby and we decide what we would teach them about, which also sounds like it's getting into like incredibly dangerous territories because wouldn't we want to teach it everything?
Yeah, it kind of sounds like MinnMax raises a baby in the post-apocalypse for some reason.
Yeah.
It's like everything else, all other culture is like destroyed or something.
Yeah. And now we have to choose kind of in like a Horizon Zero Dawn way, like what we would pass on to this baby. But it's like, I'm going to put it out of like a 2 out of 5 or 3 out of 5 cancelable.
Yeah. And you
that's
know,
going under... It's not going to kill us, but it might cancel us.
And his answer would be like, we should teach him how to play Res or something. And it's like, no, like basic human empathy is like, it would be a very boring list if you were going with actual things that you should teach, but it would all be, very Hanson-y.
What if this baby doesn't know how to play Puyo Puyo Tetris or something?
Yes.
I was thinking like, we have to teach it about like, the history of the world and like the different cultures and like, and of course Ben would just be like, but does it like Tetris or not? What do we teach this baby about the video game awards?
Yeah. Classic Hanson. And now he has a baby and no one stopped him. I feel like that's on all of us.
No one stopped him.
Here's one it's not the craziest idea, but it's just a little confusing. And it's Pictionary with Blackboard.
I think he's talking about that new whiteboard in his basement.
Okay.
I assume. Because he got that new whiteboard that is black that sits behind his... So would he do it and then we would...
Oh, okay.
That guess from bad. There or from here.
But he has a blackboard he has a whiteboard that's a blackboard?
Yeah, it's black, but it's a whiteboard. And you can't really see what we write on it because it's black.
So are the markers white then?
Some of them are, but they're also not easy to see.
Oh boy. That's a choice. Yeah, well, I guess that wouldn't be the worst. I would have volunteered to stay in my home and guess what he's trying to write on that if he wanted to set that one up. But yeah, I guess that makes a moderate amount of sense, even though I feel like we could also just play like 10 different Jackbox games that are more creative.
That's true, isn't that just like the same thing?
Yeah.
It is the most normal idea so far.
It is.
In a way, it's like a 2 out of 5.
It's dangerously close to
normal.
A normal idea. Yes. Did we do this one?
Put ice fishing on here.
I don't know. Did he? I mean, it must have been Hanson because no one else is gonna put ice fishing on there.
Do you remember? I don't know if it's on here, Defin, but do you remember in the winter when Ben was like explaining like the winter stuff he would do, and one of it was just like you would toss a bunch of stuff on ice and see if it would break the ice. Do you remember that?
No, but that
he was like explaining that like something fun that he did with his friends was like grab a bunch of stuff and like toss it onto ice, like a lake or something, and then like see if it went through. And he was really excited for it, and I was just like, so we had to bring our own stuff to then try and sink in a lake.
Yeah, stuff that you want to forever be in a frozen winter lake.
You would try to like push it across the lake and see how far it would go. I don't remember. It was just one of the wildest, like, casual, like, this is a fun hobby that I have with my friends in the winter that I've never heard about before.
Very Gooster says, is Ben a time traveler from 1900?
It honestly does feel that
which
way.
It does feel like a pre-21st century idea of fun.
Mm-hmm. I just remember him explaining that idea to you, and you were like, no, I really don't want to go throw my stuff on the ice for fun.
Yeah. Janet says it seems like littering. That's just littering the game show, I suppose.
I'd assume we would like pick it up, but like if it goes through,
yeah. But if you're punching giant holes in the ice, you don't want to go out there and get the things that didn't fall through.
No,
at that
this
point.
definitely is honestly, it's giving 1900s. No TV, no internet.
Yeah.
No thoughts.
The boredom. We've already played every other, hoop and stick too long. That's not fun anymore.
Mm-hmm. We've already played too much hoop and stick.
Yeah, let's add the danger of falling into a frozen lake. Ice fishing itself, I guess, isn't the craziest idea that he's had for like a real life new show plus, but
it's
also
a lot of setup.
Yeah, and I don't believe that Hanson knows anything about ice fishing. Like, he would show up there on the day with like a pickaxe or something and be like, yeah, we'll just punch a hole in, and then, he's got like a stick with a string on it, and like a piece of cheese.
A worm.
Yes,
a piece of cheese. And
from like a Lunchables, container that he bought on the way there.
No,
Yeah, he doesn't have like an ice house or anything like that, right?
No, or like you have to like get the proper tool to like break the ice and like carve through it.
Yeah. So no, I wouldn't go on. It's a not bad idea if someone actually knew and was into ice fishing, and you could just go set up a camera in a fishing house for an hour.
Yeah.
But
the setup would be an hour.
It would, yeah.
And then would we just have to sit there until we caught a fish?
It would probably just be us sitting around a hole in the ice for an hour and nothing else, reading comments and nothing else happening.
Do you think this, like, the MinnMax community, like, now do they fully realize like the bullets we've been taking for them and ourselves?
I would hope so. Yeah. These are the ones that we can say on air too. I mean,
yeah. I like. There's another one that's how many bends? That's gotta be 5 out of 5 bends. Because in Ben's mind, that would be amazing. It would be amazing content.
Mm-hmm.
But then somebody has to think it through.
Yes, it's 5 out of 5 bends because of how not thought through it is.
Yes.
Yeah. We don't have any of the gear for that or the knowledge. It would end with us all falling into a lake, Yep.
Just like this other idea, which is art gallery. Send in paintings. Do people send in paintings to us? How much time do they have to send in a painting? Like, how does this work?
Art gallery. Send in paintings. God,
do they send it
so
to
cryptic.
us? Do we send paintings into an art gallery?
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, that's not much of a show, right? Because would it just be us taking a painting to UPS and then sending it to an art gallery? Or would we show up to an art gallery like some jackass stunt with a bunch of paintings and be like, hey, do you want any of these?
And then go just hang them up. Art galleries love unsolicited paintings. Says win record in the chat. But I think what it is I think the community virtually would send in like MS Paint. That would actually be kind of fun if it was that. Like the community sends in MS Paint and then we have to guess like what it is.
Sure.
So it's like community Pictionary. But then someone would have to know what it is.
That's true.
Or we just don't know and we just guess anyways. Yeah, so it's just like another Pictionary?
Or it's another we judge things that we ask the community to do in the first place and be like, that's not good. That's not good enough for the MinnMax art gallery, or like we'll put that, next to the bathroom. You can see it on the way on your way to the bathroom or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a lot to ask once you've made someone make a picture for you.
Yeah.
At that point, it has to all be 10 out of 10s. You can't ask someone to make you a painting for free and then just criticize it and yeah.
You would have to enjoy every single one.
Mm-hmm. I suppose you could have like Hanson print them all out and then like hang them in the studio or something. Like turn the studio into a gallery.
And then he'd make me show up and then you would walk me around his art gallery.
Yeah. And then he'd shush you the entire time really obnoxiously or something like that. Let's see.
I like this go for a walk, also walking through Cyberpunk 2077. Like, would somebody be walking outside and then someone would be walking in the game
like
and they would just put them side by side?
Yeah. I mean, we've done walking content, right?
Yes, the people love walking content.
Mm-hmm. But then, so I guess the way to bring it back is also cyberpunk walking.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Interesting.
Doesn't feel like it adds a whole lot to the idea. But he phoned that one in.
I give it 3 out of 5 Hansons.
Yeah. Seems fair.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Did we do this one? We have thrift stores, and then it says buy secret gifts for people.
I remember that one. That was another one where it's like Ben wanted to go shopping, but we had to convince him that him shopping, like he wanted to double dip once again, like his chores with content. And then I remember that one because Janet was like, you can't just like go to a thrift store and like shop normally. Then he was like, okay, what if we get like little gifts for other people?
I see.
And then at the end, we reveal our little gift that we got.
To the person that he bought it for?
Yeah. That's the thing, because it's like, then you couldn't be next to each other in the store the entire time.
Yeah. Or like you'd have to bring someone on. Janet says she thinks this one was her idea. I said we should go to a thrift store and buy something for another cohort.
Which is, but I think it was like originally a Ben idea where it's like Ben just wanted to go shopping.
Yeah, trying to salvage it.
And then Janet was like, you can't just go shopping for content.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. But then it would
That's
be
why
like...
this one's actually fleshed out.
Yes.
A little bit more than the other ones.
It seems more plausible. But I think you'd still run into the problem of if you wanted their reaction to getting it, unless you brought them on the next episode and you showed it to them while someone else went out and got it. Otherwise, you're bringing in someone for like the last 5 minutes to show them the secret gift they bought them. Janet says, like, Jeff and Ben go into a store and they each get the other person something. Okay. So it would be, we would have to be in different sections of the thrift store. Mm-hmm. And then, or maybe we're well, it did say secret gifts. So,
do you remember when we were like a video game channel? When was the last one of these an actual video game?
It's a great
question. All of the ideas we've read, has any of them? No, the Cyberpunk one, the walking and then walking in Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
I think that was the only one that actually had something to do with the video game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's not like we've been skipping a bunch of video game ideas in this.
They're not in here.
No, it's just all insane ideas.
Tell me about the early times of New Show Plus. Was it video game related? Tell me what happened.
It was.
Speak of the old days.
Yes, it was the Great Goatee Hunt, where we played an actual game every year, and it was, or every week, to see if it was like one of the best games of the year was the idea. And they never were, but at least they were games that we were playing. I don't know when everything went off the rails and it got really meta with our insane real life ideas. Halloween shops and sledding and all of those things.
Basketball. Those were legends.
Mm-hmm.
Leo going through the Taco Bell drive-thru.
That's right. Another classic. Here's another one. We have assembly videos. And then it says, order something and then make it seem like we're assembling it. And I don't...
like order like a cabinet and then like pretend to assemble it? Yeah, can you define make it seem?
Yeah, that's... So, assembly videos, order something and make it seem like we're assembling it. So would we be like... Is the idea that we're making an assembly video? Like a how-to kind of thing? Pretend
or do we
IKEA,
order
Bobby
something?
Backwards asks.
We order something and then we just pretend to assemble, but like we would still be assembling. It's the make it seem.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, like yeah. Do we order? Oh, like order takeout and then pretend that we're cooking? I don't understand.
Oh, is it? But man, yeah, he doesn't. You'd think he would include the word food if he was talking about cooking.
But also
it's Hanson.
Woody.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah, I don't know what. If it was just order something and then put it together, then it would it would make sense, and still be a bad show. That would still just be Hanson, doing a chore, turning a chore into content. But make it seem like we're assembling it. Everyone in the chat is just as confused.
I think this is the only like true one that I just simply cannot seem to make sense out of.
Yeah.
I also like this one, $20 at a dollar store. Nothing like taking $20 into the dollar store and coming out with probably 15 items.
Yeah. That one just shows that Hanson hasn't been to a dollar store in like 20 years, because nothing's actually a dollar anymore.
No.
I do like the idea though of him as boss. Like you can connect the dots of like, what if it was just like a shopping spree, but budget. We don't want to actually do a real shopping spree. So, but what if we went to the dollar store? Because then it would only cost $20. Yeah. Janet says she spent like $50 to $100 at the dollar store because her boyfriend wanted a bunch of dollar store stuff.
Got it's not a dollar anymore.
No.
Yeah, Ben is really hung up on like shopping, and I think it's because he literally told me he does not like to shop. So I feel like he's just trying to like offset his hatred of shopping with making content.
Yeah. Yeah, two birds with one stone kind of situation. Let's see. I think we said etiquette school last time. I think.
Did we? I don't think we talked about etiquette because that was a post Ben using a fork situation.
Oh. Yeah. Do etiquette schools still exist? Is that even a thing anymore?
I know when I was like a Girl Scout, we had like, and this is now looking back on it, seems very patriarchal, but they like taught us how to set a table as just children, like where you put like the forks and the knives and like where the glass goes and like where the plate goes. But I don't think you can like sign up for it, but there's probably a YouTube video.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like the fundamental concept of etiquette school is patriarchal, and which is why I wonder if there's any formal place. But I'm sure Hanson could find one, and he would send all of us to it. But I bet they don't. I bet they wouldn't let you record in there. I bet that would be a faux pas.
Yeah.
You know.
That would be against. It does seem truly against etiquette to record in public.
Yes. Yeah.
There's one called Learn
classic
How
Hanson.
to Farm.
God, you know what?
That's the entire idea. Learn how to farm.
You know what? I was yeah, let's write that one down as we mock him.
Ooh, this idea of MinnMax gets like Boy Scout, Girl Scout badges is kind of a cute one.
That is good.
Like pick out some little cute badge ideas. But then again, I would have to go someplace and probably do something. Like help my community. So
yeah. Yeah,
Ooh, learn knots. Sorry. I'm getting excited.
Yeah.
On the list.
Oh, we just had one that was learn how to tie a tie, right?
Yeah,
which is
that
not adjacent. Yes. Yeah, the learn how to farm one, I was going to suggest like we should try and come up with the most Hanson-y idea. And the idea that I had for that was like he would probably do one where we like plant asparagus or something and then like watch asparagus grow. And I
figured, would be like a 4-year situation.
Yes. And I figured it would just turn into us, you know, like being day laborers at some kind of farm. And then and turns out it's already on the list. He's one step ahead of us.
Day laborers. That was going to be your Ben idea, was just learn how to farm.
Yes.
And it's not like it's something you can learn in an hour. Like, what would we do? Be like, put plant in ground, water plant. Like,
yeah. And then like sign off and
check back in a year.
Yeah. Or we'd be watching YouTube videos about it first. It's like, yeah.
It would be cute if it was like multiplayer Stardew Valley or like multiplayer Farm Simulator. But doing it in real life is not nearly as feasible.
No. Not for an hour-long show. And then everybody would vote for it for a second week, and then we'd really be screwed. Because at least you can plant it the first week, but
yeah,
after that, you're in trouble. He's got planting trees on here as well. I guess that's a little more feasible.
Would we plant the trees? Who's donating their backyard for us to plant a tree?
Yeah.
Or are we just like guerrilla planting trees?
Rogue, just like going to a park or someplace and planting a tree that they don't want there.
Guerrilla gardening.
That's a pretty good name for it if we did do it.
I almost think I know where this idea came from, because like last year Ben got a new tree in his backyard. So I could see them like digging the hole for putting the tree in, and Ben just writing down plant a tree on, like as they're like planting it in his yard. He was just like,
yes,
plant a tree.
Yeah, 100%.
Remember when Crater Gaming says, remember when Ben almost agreed to come clean my gutters for New Show Plus until he realized it's a huge liability issue? Yes, for a New Show Plus idea, Ben wanted to go to someone's home in the community and like do home stuff on it, like paint a fence or like clean your yard, and like that, and only for an hour, and then we'd leave.
So we'd paint like 15% of a fence.
Yes, and then
just leave the person. Yes. And gutter cleaning.
Yeah, some true Tom Sawyer shenanigans.
Yeah.
But and then he just wanted to like go to someone's house and then do a chore for them, because I don't know why all of these are just chores.
Because that's what he does, and what he doesn't want to do unless he's making it into content. Here's another, very plain one, just garage sales. And I feel like that's the perfect kind of Hanson idea,
that's
where
Ben
it's
idea
like,
right there.
Yes, he would say it and then it would be silence, and then the rest of us would be like, but I don't want to go to a stranger's garage and like live stream myself there. That's like the biggest a-hole move of, I don't want to mess with this person while they're just, trying to sell their junk. And
well, yeah, and then it's like you have to like know like what garage sales are on Tuesday. They're usually on the weekends, they're usually like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then it's like, how many do we go to?
Yes.
Are we allowed to film?
you're gonna spend the entire time going to the next one. You have to try and figure out how to not dox them when you're doing it.
Yeah.
When you're just
I'm sure
showing
the
up at their
person's gonna want to
house.
chat, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is entirely a Ben idea where it's like the idea is there. Going to garage sales is fun or can be fun and exciting, but the absolute logistics of it feel like a nightmare.
Yes. It's the thrift store idea, but with a whole nother like layer
level
of
of complicated. This is absolutely
Yes.
a 5 out of 5. Hanson.
Classic.
Hanson's.
Yep.
The name of the home improvement show was Happy Helpers. By the way, I just found it on the list.
Oh. That's
Happy Helpers.
he had the
We were
name
gonna
for
be the
it.
helpers.
Yep. Let's see.
I'm still mad that Leo's lemonade stand never won.
Yes, we did. And didn't we?
We
Didn't
tried
that
to
one
bring
come
it
up?
back.
Wasn't like the first time though? It was gonna be at like 8 o'clock at night during the winter or something like that.
During the winter.
It's like just perfect time for a lemonade stand.
Lemonade stand lost to tennis.
Yes.
Horrifying.
Here's a great one. Here's a classic one, and it's actually video game themed. Reviewing every Breath of the Wild shrine. Aren't there like 400 shrines or something like that? Like you're gonna go through
they all
and
kind of
review.
blend together.
Yes, that's the entire show would be him saying the name of a shrine and us being like, which one was that? And he'd be like, the one with the ball that you got to move around. It's like, which one with the ball? Or it'd be like 50 combat ones where it's like, okay, the one where you fought those guys, right? 120.
I wonder where that idea came from.
Yeah. Sean Nair says 120, you'd have to do 2 per minute at that rate.
Oh, here's another shopping one. New shoe plus, which I assume Ben would go out and get new shoes. And Jan and I have to keep telling him to like please stay away from feet stuff.
Yes.
And that he would be alone in buying a new pair of shoes and nobody else would be buying shoes with him.
He's got a
new shoe plus.
he's got a real blind spot for the amount of foot fetishists that are on the internet and the dangers of that. New Shoe Plus is a great name. He's got the pun down name. At least.
New Shoe Plus was an option. It got 8 votes.
So at least the community is looking out for us.
At least the community has spoken. Yeah, I think I'm in the voted for category now.
Yeah. See, Rusty
also,
Ford.
Hard to tell.
Rusty Ford said you could go to a shoe factory, which we shouldn't even say that because Hanson's probably typing it at the bottom of the list right now.
He's like, shoe factory.
Yes. And then we'd have to sit him down and be like, look, Hanson, where are you going to find a shoe factory in Minnesota? They're not going to let you film them making shoes, like all of these. Hitmonchan is now saying become cobbler. Cobbler. Again, yes. If I'm sure we could come up with a pun for that. Yes.
I'm surprised there's not like a learn old-timey hobby on here somewhere.
I'm just gonna write that one down right here. We can see if
become a cobbler.
That. Well, let's just go with the become or learn old-timey hobby.
And then we'll just decide with learn to whittle. That's not gonna take a finger off.
Is that one that he had on there?
No, that's just what I thought of because of the becoming cobblers.
Yes.
Yeah, whittling sticks for 2 hours. We should put trying to start a fire on here.
God. You are good at coming that is a straight up Hanson idea. I can't believe that he hasn't come up with that yet. Trying to start a fire.
Starting a fire with only the
sticks.
Old stuff, not actual fire starting materials.
Wait till Hanson watches Castaway again randomly some night, and then he'll be like, "I got the best idea, guys." Let's see. Weather show we talked about last time. That's classic. Here's one. This is enigmatic.
Here's one that has a really bad name. It's called Siege School.
Siege
School. But it specifically was Leo teaching us how to play Rainbow Six Siege.
Oh, okay.
But I would veto that title.
Yeah. Not the greatest. So here's an enigmatic one he has. It's called Film Show. But then the notes for it say just a max spoilers on Gone Girl.
Well, he can have that. I like that one because that's not something I have to participate in.
Because you haven't seen it?
Ooh, we should have one where we actually have to use our college degrees.
Ooh.
New show plus, use my degree.
That's a good name for it.
Because then Ben can actually, he can do his movie degree, which I think he has.
I mean, he already made me write a children's book, which I feel like is close enough. He forced me to do that, so that's the English degree. But just a max spoilers on Gone Girl is, but that's called Film Show. Is the note there?
He just wants to talk about Gone Girl.
Or is the note just him like talking himself down from the idea and being like, is that like a secondary revelation of, oh wait, I'm just pitching a max spoilers on Gone Girl? Or is that just like, this is just an excuse to talk about Gone Girl?
Yeah, I think it's an excuse.
It's the latter, isn't it?
Yeah. We got a video impromptu review in the chat, a video review on your college degrees or Gone Girl. Jeffin, would you like to review your college degree or Gone Girl? I haven't seen Gone Girl personally.
Yeah, I'll review my degree, I guess. So I got a double degree, double major in English and Japanese from the University of Minnesota. It's Asian languages and literatures.
I almost got the same degree, Jeffem.
There you go.
Are you shitting me?
No, I'm not. And honestly, and this is like becoming an actual conversation, which is not what impromptu reviews are supposed to do.
Sorry.
But the Japanese half of it was way more interesting and way more rewarding than the English like major, because the English one, it's like every class was 100 people, and some lecturer who really didn't care. And all of the Japanese classes, it was like 20 people in a class. Like you got to know all of your professors. It's actually really great.
We probably had the same teachers.
Probably.
But
except
new
I
show
can't
plus
remember
idea.
any of their
Jeff
names.
and Sarah go back to the University of Minnesota and retake their Japanese classes.
Probably. I'm sure. Once we all know Hanson's watching this right now, I'm sure he's going to write that down.
He's writing, Jeff and Sarah attempt to have a conversation in Japanese after not using, after taking 4 years of Japanese in college and double majoring in it.
Yes.
The blind.
Yeah. But so I'll say 9 out of 10 for the Japanese program at the U of M, and 3 out of 10 for the English. They also
you should done what I did, and instead of English, you do journalism, because then they just let you write about whatever you want.
That's
and
good.
Nobody cares. I literally just wrote things about video games, and guess what? I'm not a journalist.
Well, don't tell people that. If you got the degree. Yeah. They forced me to take a class on Shakespeare. Like an entire Shakespeare class you have to take if you're an English major, because he's so effing important. Yeah. Yeah.
No, you should have done journalism, and then I had to take a class on new media in the year 2016, and they taught us about Second Life. In 2016.
Nice.
See, that's where you could have been. You could have been learning about Second Life.
It's worth all the debt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know if we mentioned this one last time, but we just have cat games.
That just sounds like a bunch of games about cats, which I feel like would actually be more doable.
Yes, which is almost why I question if that's what he was thinking.
Idea.
Oh, was it? Then it would make sense because he doesn't list any cat games, and I'm wondering if it's just like if he was here right now, he'd be like, oh yeah, you know, like we go around the neighborhood, we find a stray cat, and then we play games with it.
I bring checkers. You can get Connect 4.
Yep.
We'll see what he's into.
Are you kidding me? Has this one also been on there the entire time? This one is reading our college papers. Is that
I don't even know where mine are.
I don't either. But that sounds like a nightmare.
Reading our college papers.
Yes.
I'd have to go find mine, but like, do you want to read? No, nobody wants to read that.
No.
No one, no. And we were both like English in the English adjacent majors.
Yeah. Rich says Ben's got to be proud of his. That's why. It's absolutely, he would want to bust his out and perform them.
Yeah.
But
I could read my old media law paper where we dissect various media laws in court cases.
Don't say it. He's gonna add it.
Nah.
I'm sure he's furiously typing down all of these ideas that we're coming up with. Well, I mean, the list.
I never saw that one.
Yeah, that's.
Do you think he's watching and he added that within like the past 20 minutes?
Maybe. That's the beauty of the list. Is it just goes that one? Let's see. Where was that one? That one was on page 9 of 32.
That must have been an early one.
Yep. It's just.
Here's another college one. Back to school, old roommates and college stories. So we just sit around and talk about the greatest years of our lives that have been passed.
Back to college. Old roommates. See, you know, like like half of his. I feel like half of his roommates have been on the show. You know, it's like Ronnie and that kind of stuff. But like,
this would just be Ben reminiscing. This is just an excuse to reminisce on the internet with the captured audience.
Yeah, I would not want to do that. And I didn't have any roommates, so I'd be off the hook for that. That would be my excuse. But the list doesn't end, Sarah. It goes on forever. And this show too can go on forever if people keep voting for it. We went into this like, I feel like a little worried about are we going to be able to fill another hour of this, and it turns out it was a piece of cake. In part because I think Hanson keeps adding things. So he better get to work and add another, 30 by
What's
next
been your
week.
Favorite so far out of all from like last week and this week? What was your favorite idea that you've read? Mine was Alone in the Woods, where we would just be alone in the woods. We would have to survive in the woods for an hour of New Show Plus.
Yes.
Like Alone in the Woods, like it's not, and some, I don't know. I think that's been the best so far for me.
Honestly, I think it was cleaning random audience members' gutters. That was kind of like a
Happy Helpers.
Yes, Happy Helpers. Which, his heart's in the right place, even if his mind is completely checked out of all the problems with that. He's got heart. And if you want to support that kind of content, we're not going to clean anyone's gutters. First of all, that's a no-go. You're going to have to wait till Hanson gets back for that. But otherwise, you can support us at patreon.com/MinnMax. We'll be back next week with another slew of options that you can vote on. Otherwise, we've got lots of other great content coming out for the rest of the week. And the MinnMax Show podcast is another great one coming up this week. We'll have a special guest this week, which will be exciting. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. And thank you, Sarah, for going through all these ridiculous ideas with me.
Yeah. I feel like we should really, maybe update the list a little bit, but we'll wait until Ben comes back.
Well, I put a couple of those on there that you were calling out because they're just too good. So we're going to have to learn old-timey hobbies in the future and do all kinds of...
What have I done?
Yes, start a fire, you know. It's endless content thanks to you guys. So we will see you next time. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Every week, we let Patreon supporters choose which new show we create with New Show Plus. Should we create another episode of the show you just watched? Check out the biggest new game release? Get into Sea of Thieves? Create an exercise show? It is your call. So thanks to everybody who subscribes on YouTube or supports us over on Patreon. MinnMax exists because of you. As always, if you enjoy MinnMax content, any help telling a friend is appreciated.